What's going on, y'all? Thanks for checking in the Khaliis Take. You know what to do. Hit that like, subscribe button. Also hit that notification bell just so you can get the newest and the bonus content first. But hey, let's just go ahead and jump right in. Checking out Yahoo Sports, I was reading about John Wall. And, he was speaking on just, going to the season, ready to get back to what he needs to be for the Clippers, being a big dog for the Clippers, since I think he's one of the, maybe not one of the oldest ones, but he's been in the league, a while, longer than a lot of other players on the Clippers. So I definitely understand where he comes from there, but definitely ready to get back into action and play at the level that a lot of people know that he can. And for that to happen, of course, he's going to have to stay healthy and build the chemistry with the team. And, as much as he has to build chemistry with the Clippers, they have to build chemistry with him, too, because he is a top 10 point guard in the league to me still, even though it's been a while since he's actually, played at the top level that some people remember him playing at. But he's still, to me, a top 10 point guard in the league because when healthy, he's still better than I'd say 80 or 90% of the point guards in the league, just because of his talent, his speed, his end-to-end, getting coast to coast to the basket and applying pressure on defenses that a lot of other point guards can't do. I'm not sure if he still has the speed and stuff that he used to have, but he still has a lot in the arsenal, in the tank, and still wants to go out there and display his talents. And I'm definitely all for that. And, just hearing where he came from with the suicidal thoughts, and he almost had his foot or something like that amputated due to an injury that he had. I mean, it was just devastating to hear, what this guy's been through as a player. And it's very hard to understand, too, at times, because when you think about a player, an NBA player or an athlete or something like that, first thing people always refer to is athletes have all this money, they got this, that, everything should be fine with them. But people have to understand, you can have all the money in the world, but it doesn't necessarily mean you have everything figured out. It doesn't necessarily mean your life is all put together. It just means that, you have enough money to pay off some of your debts and pay some people, or pay to take some of your problems away. But the real problems just seem to come right back around when there's nobody around, and when you're in a room all to yourself thinking, and maybe possibly looking into the mirror and looking at who you really are as an individual, to try and understand why things are happening the way they are at that current time. But it really just resonates to the fact that when you look at a player like John Wall, you push for him because you saw what he went through the last few years. And honestly, I thought John Wall was pretty much on his way out of the league, because Houston, I thought, was his last stop in regards to being a home that he can play at, and a team that he could play for and call home. I thought that was just going to be his last stop. And then Houston does the buyout thing with him and all that, and then he finds his way to the Clippers, and now he's in great opportunity because he has an opportunity to win a championship on top of all the stuff he's been through as a player and just off the court issues and things like that. This would be a great rebound for John Wall to come back and really make his mark in the NBA once again, because I really think that the Clippers, honestly, when you look at this team, they a lot of people can look at them and say they have too much talent, but there's really no way you can have too much talent in this league now, because there's so much shooting. People, the scoring is so much higher than what it was from years ago. The game is just a lot different, so you can never have enough of anything, I think, in the league now, in regards to, trying to win a championship. I mean, hell, look at the Lakers. They got 3 top 75 players and didn't even make the play-in tournament. So that tells you, you got to have a lot of depth. You got to have a lot of everything, to win a championship or to be in that championship contention. I mean, not unless you have, just all the right pieces in the right place and everybody is 100% fit and all that type stuff, which that can happen at times, but very rare does that happen, that everybody on the team is 100% fit. The chemistry is 100% on spot on what it needs to be. Very rare does those things happen. So, I mean, when they do happen, great, but if they don't, it's not to worry. just one of those things. But, saying all that just to say this, really, I'm excited for John Wall. I'm excited for the opportunity to watch him play with a team that really, means something now. The Clippers a long time ago weren't a team that a lot of people looked at or even put in the forefront of any team in the NBA. Now they have an opportunity to win a championship, and now they're heavily favored to win a championship. I can honestly say I've never seen that or never heard of that way back in the day, the Clippers being favored to win a championship. But that's how powerful, Kawhi Leonard is on the court, and, along with PG, and, adding John Wall. John Wall really coming on this team to take a lot of pressure off Kawhi and PG. And there again, I spoke on load management and things like that, but they might be able to load manage more games, those two specifically, if John Wall, is staying healthy and playing very well, and they could take, some games off and allow him to go out there and run the offense and get more acclimated with everybody, the other guys as well, and get on the same page with them and run the offense. And they win a few games this season without the services of Kawhi and PG, for them just sitting on the sideline a few games here and there, getting their proper rest for, gearing up for the really, really huge games and gearing up for the playoffs. And that's exactly what I think that Ty Lue is going to implement or do in regards to this team, because honestly, it starts with those two players. And I like John Wall a lot, but it's Kawhi and PG first before him. And as long as he understands that, as long as he knows his role, as long as he plays it to that level, everything will be fine. But, if there's a situation where, Kawhi is being asked to do a lot, PG's being asked to do a lot, and there isn't much load managing in this season. That's good if they can sustain out through the season, and along with John Wall, sustain through the season without injuries and go through the whole season. But as I said before, I wouldn't mind if they did any load managing with John Wall or any of the big, their big three that they have, because, like I said, the main goal is to win a championship, and the only way for them to do that is for them to be healthy enough to do it at the end of the season. Now, of course, I always say chemistry is big with me. So chemistry is definitely number two. So they definitely need to build that chemistry with each other during the season. They're going to go through their ups and downs. They're going to have, the ebbs and flows of a season and everything like that. But for the most part, they want to just gain chemistry enough to where they trust each other on the floor, and the shots will start falling after a while. And that's exactly what I think Ty Lue is going to implement as well, if he's not already implementing it now. And I think that, Kawhi and everybody is all on board with that, along with John Wall. And I think they have a really good key specific role for John Wall. I think we'll see it a lot. Reggie Jackson is going to be the starting point guard, I believe, for the Clippers at the start of the season, based upon the fact that, he knows the offense way better than, John Wall, because John Wall just got there and he's more acclimated with the team and the chemistry and things like that. And plus, Reggie Jackson's been playing at a pretty high level these last couple seasons, more than what some people thought he ever even had in him, so it's hard to really take him out the starting lineup when he's used to playing with Kawhi and PG and the rest of these guys, and know exactly where their spots are and where they like it. Only problem with, Reggie Jackson, he's just more of a shooting guard. So he has a mentality to score at times, whereas there's times where he has to hold back and reserve and allow the real big dogs to handle the job. And that's the reason why I think they definitely needed a real point guard, and they did get a real point guard. And I think what PG said yesterday in his media day as well, they're excited to have point guard, because they're excited to have a point guard, especially John Wall, because he's the type of point guard they needed. They needed a point guard that can kind of take over games sometime, control the offense a little bit, put a defense on their heels, going from coast to coast and finding people in their rhythm, cutting to the basket, things like that. Because as I said before, John Wall can give you 15 and 8 a game easily. He can easily do that. Now, back in the day on Washington, he'd give you 20 and 10 assists, but now he can give you about 15 and 8 on average, I think, depending on how many minutes he gets. So let's see what happens with John Wall, and let's see if he can stay healthy enough to really benefit this team, because honestly, the last several years, that's what they've been missing, a point guard. And as I said before, if they just want to add a little bit more depth in the center position, that'll be great for them too. So let's see what the Clippers do, and let's see how John Wall fares, and we'll definitely keep the radar on them and see how it all pans out. But hey, that's my take on everything. Leave any comments in the comment section. Check out my other videos if you haven't. And hey, Cali out.